almost got a cup of coffee instead of a glass of wine because I was asleep. But then I would have been up all night.
You're going to pass out.
Nah, I'll be all right. Wait on a few to get here. I got my notes.
What are we talking about?
The one that you sent me about the difficulty of owning birds,
Okay.
yet the joy of it as well. Um, their needs, like when you're getting ready to get a bird, like um, and specific cockatoo needs. Somebody asked us that last week. That
Yeah, they did.
the one I think she's the one that sent you that beautiful story.
Ah,
Yep. Hey,
yeah,
Amanda.
that story was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, I wanted to know if she would mind if I read it to
Yeah, she
Buster.
said that's fine.
Okay, because I'll do a video on it because that was absolutely adorable.
There's Amanda. It had two people and one jumped off. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah. Hey, Leonie. How you
Hi,
doing?
Leonie.
Hey, service dog. Okay, let
Boy, for
me.
some reason I'm especially blurry tonight. I haven't even started my beer.
I haven't started anything. I can't. I don't see the
Hi,
dot to.
Jerry. Service dog Kazana.
It might. No, let me see. Oh, I click her. Okay. No. Oh, yes. Here it is. There we go. Did I do it? Service dog. Hey, Kay.
I'm waiting for her to reply to see if it did.
It it should have. I hit the right things. Hang on, let me look up.
Yeah. Hello, Luann.
I don't know. No, it says it's yeah. It went through. It just doesn't have the little thing yet next to it.
Okay.
So, hey, I know I talked to Rebecca about mentioning something at the end, but I'll go ahead and just mention it now really quickly if that's okay. Um I wanted to go over something that I had a live yesterday and there was someone on there that was saying they were like a young kid. But when I went back over because at the end, and luckily my moderator caught it, she made a pretty um, inappropriate statement that I know the platform would have very much frowned upon. And Amanda caught it and got it off of there. But it made me go back over the channel and look over because I missed a lot of the chat. It was a busy chat yesterday, and I realized some of the questions that this user was asking a certain person to me seem like security questions.
Mm,
Um, I don't want to say the person's name, but I know the person will know what I'm talking about.
okay.
Um, so just I know we talked about safety on the podcast before, but anytime something jumbles in my mind, because I always think of you too, where you had gotten hacked and
Yeah.
almost lost access to your
Yeah.
channel. And this person doesn't even post content or anything, but as I went back over these specific questions that was being asked to just one person on the channel, it did appear to me that they were like security type questions. Um, so I went ahead
Mm.
and just went in and
Yeah.
reported one of
Need
the
to refrain
comments.
from that.
Yeah, I reported one of the comments and then blocked the person from the channel just to be safe. But yeah, then let's cheers and go on.
Okay.
Be safe on the interwebs, y'all. Yeah, you have your mini beer, right? Hello,
Yeah.
everybody. There's 150 here.
Like a shot. Oh,
Yeah, you need a little lime. It probably wouldn't even fit down in there.
yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. So we're going to go over the difficulty of owning birds. I'm gonna like add specifically cockatoos, I think, but although
They're
Earl
definitely
has,
different and harder than the other birds, that's
yeah,
for sure.
I mean Earl does have his own challenges with his screaming and Unfortunately, the way he was, treated before coming here too. But I think we've discussed it before. Like, you're probably not going to go on vacation very often.
No, I mean, if at all, the only place we can go is New Jersey because that's where we oh, a mosquito. Missed it.
That's funny.
We were in is New Jersey because that's where we got them, and they had, like, a bed and breakfast for birds, and so they're the only place I really trust, and so, we've never been on vacation since then. I
Mm,
mean, you can't lug around a big cage,
right.
and you
Yeah.
can't have them screaming in a hotel or something.
Or being out in a hotel room without destroying it, you know,
Yeah.
and leaving them alone. Like, um, yeah, they would, um, Buster would probably chew through a wall. Um, oh, thank
Pat
you.
Murphy from Ireland.
Oh, wow.
Finally seeing Buster's mom. I just
Oh,
love
yeah.
you and your family. I
Oh,
do
thank
too.
you. Thank you. Yeah. I
Hi,
don't
Karen.
actually,
Hi, Bird Love.
I don't have a lot of desire to like, or, I don't really like to travel a whole lot, but I don't have a lot of desire to like leave the country. But Ireland is so beautiful. I would love to go there. Um, and I know Iceland's cold, but I think Iceland would be cool too. They don't allow genetic genetic modified genetic foods. I can't spit it out tonight, but
Oh, I
anyway,
didn't know that.
yeah, they don't allow it. I got one too. Huh? You sent it over here.
Next thing you know, I'm gonna smack my face trying to get
Yeah,
it.
I have a mosquito bite on my face actually from over the weekend. Hey, everybody. I know I'm missing a lot of it, but thank you for being here. Yeah. Um, and, we were also going to talk about like having friends and family over. And when you try to have get togethers, you kind of have to, there's a balance with that. If you have an ornery cockatoo, you know,
Yeah,
yeah. When I know when my one daughter visits, she has a German Shepherd. Actually, my other daughter has, he's a mix. Um, Gosh, I can't think. He's like a livestock, a collie, something mix. And anyway, those two do not like my birds. They don't like birds. So it's a real balance of, um, you know, keeping them separated. That's one of the reasons Ken built that door that we have for Buster. But so that's a thing too. Hey,
I
Condo.
got into a fight with, my sister-in-law because she wanted to visit and bring her little grandbaby. Well, I had Tika, who was plucking, and we didn't allow any child into the home because she would pluck worse. And that
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was mutilating, not just plucking, so we couldn't
Right.
risk that, and I even appealed to her. You always there's always the bottom line is the dollar with some people. So I
Mm-hmm.
even tried to appeal to her in that way. This is the bird worth thousands of dollars. We can't have her kill herself. Just see if that would make a difference. Nothing did. She didn't
Yeah.
understand. She got offended. She got mad. And I said, it's not just you. No child underage, like 7 is allowed in here. In here. It's too raucous for Tika.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I ran into that.
Somebody asked what plucking is. You want to explain that? I think because you've had more experience with it than I have.
Plucking is something that, cockatoos can do, other birds can do it, but not nearly as common. That is when
Ooh,
they pull
say
their
hello.
feathers out of
Say
their
hello.
out of themselves, especially on the chest. It's a mystery as to why they do it. Sometimes they do it due to health reasons,
Mm-hmm.
giardia, and sometimes psychological reasons, like something's wrong in the home. But there are those times where you've done everything right and they still do it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a sign that they just don't do as well in captivity as some other bird species. There's mutilation syndrome, which is kind of rare, and that's where they go beyond plucking and they will pick at their skin. And I had a bird that picked straight through to her gullet, like a hole,
Mm-hmm.
and she could have died. And that was an awful experience, but that's what plucking is.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that I think anyway, more females do it than males. Oh, there are a few males, but it does seem like a golfing.
Ever
Um,
since you and, Condo and Redondo pointed that out,
mm,
I've been paying attention, I've been like, "Yeah, you're right."
hmm Yeah, I don't. It must be a hormonal thing. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I notice it a lot in golfins. I see a lot of little naked golfins. What's sad about that too is there's a misconception that the person that has that bird is doing something wrong. And and look, that very well can be it, but there's some of them that just for no rhyme or reason pluck.
And it's devastating to that owner,
Mhm.
and then to have
Mhm.
people question how much they love them or something is
Right.
just a
Right.
real knife in the back,
Mhm.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, the University of Tennessee said they see the Goffins more than any other cockatoo
Mm.
species for plucking.
I picked up on that really just on YouTube. Just judging by what I've seen on YouTube,
True,
there's a lot of them. So
and
that's
and I
true.
noticed they pluck their whole body sometimes,
Yeah, I
where
noticed
other
some of
birds,
them,
when they
even their
pluck, they're
head.
doing their
And
chest.
yeah, I don't know how they
They
can
use
get to
their
their
foot.
their
Coco,
foot.
that's so
Okay.
famous,
That's
people have asked tons and tons of times, why or how is her head bald? How is
mhm.
her neck and her back, how is that? They've been totally puzzled, and she said that she pulls her feathers out with her talon, and especially if she's had a shower.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
So that's how they do it.
So a collar wouldn't even do her any good because
Right,
she could get her foot up over her collar.
exactly.
That's yeah, I never even thought about that. So that's good to know. Yeah, yeah. And that brings us into the other thing we were going to bring up, vet bills. Um, if you get a bird and they're a plucker, that's going to be a big additional vet bills, and a lot of times it does have an impact on their health for sure. So if
It's
they're
hard to
pluckers.
find. There's many vets out there that say they're exotic vets or say they're avian vets,
Mm-hmm.
and really they have no training. They're able to say that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there is some real certification. I don't know how to tell the difference between the real thing and not the real thing.
The not From what I've been told, the not real thing is an exotic vet. The real thing is an avian vet. To be an
Okay,
avian vet, that from my understanding, I mean, fact check me, but from my understanding, you have to have a certain level of education and a degree in avian and avi
okay.
and to be called an avian vet.
And they're
But I
very
believe,
expensive.
yeah, I think you're
How much is a
frozen.
vet visit for you? Do you remember?
Um, you're frozen, and I know that happened last time and we weren't able to get you back.
No, but you can
Yeah,
hear me.
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Our
At least
board
I don't look
certified.
real
Thank you,
bad.
Condo. Thank you, Condo. Um, so okay, ask me the question again. I lost my train of thought after you froze. I'm sorry. You asked a question. I don't know. I may have lost her altogether. We might
Oh,
have to go.
yeah.
Oh,
No,
are you
I'm
there?
here.
Okay.
I asked how much, if you remember how much a,
Oh,
vet visit is?
so I recently took Earl, and had I not got like the medicine or whatever, I want to say his labs were about $150 plus the visit was about $100. But then I had a couple other things done, so it was almost $500. And then I had to come home and order his
That
medicine.
actually sounds reasonable. I know that when
Mm,
Buttons the cockatoo hurt his eye, it was in the thousands,
mm.
just the visit, just tests, just because he hurt his eye.
Well, I mean, I know Bo. When I got him, he has Lyme disease and he had heart worms, and I had to have him neutered and all this other stuff done, and it was over $1,000 for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Winter, I can't reboot. If I reboot, then I'll lose the chat. I mean, not the chat, I'll lose the stream.
Mhm.
And we're not sure if Jen would be able to get me back in or not. Not sure.
Yeah. And I hate to go out and come back because then that confuses the algorithm and, um, so I don't wanna.
Luann, $250 for an avian vet.
Yeah, and that was I'm talking about just simply blood work, um, a wellness check, and, he had his beak because, Earl has, scissor beak. So he had his beak trimmed, and then they looked at his foot because I always had felt that he had a broken foot and that wasn't cared for, and I was right. So, um, Frozen Rebecca's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot. He drew a mustache on my upper lip. Oh, I'll get you.
You'll get
Don't
him for
worry
that.
about that.
So, I mean, vet bills are very I know for me to take him to get the implant and the shot that I wanna do is over $500. So,
Wow.
mhm, yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at my phone, the Wi-Fi's
yeah,
on, everything's working fine, I don't
mhm,
know what the deal is.
and that seems to always happen on my end, doesn't it? And was it last time that
Hmm.
it happened?
Was it last time? Because that would have been on my
No,
end.
it wasn't last time, but one of the first few that we did, that happened. "Hey,
Huh.
Sassy, thanks for being here." Um, we must be in the short feed or something right now. I see Amanda's going through a lot. But then we also were gonna bring up the joy that they bring, um, which
We
I'm
were?
sure that was for cockatiels, right?
Yeah, that was a good one. Rim shot. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's for cockatiels, mini cockatoos.
yeah, they are. I mean, Buster does bring me joy, like, sometimes like, the other day, I told him he was crying. It was Monday, he was crying, and I said, "Don't cry," I said, "Sing a song, and when dad gets home, I'll play it for him." And he did, he started singing, and it was really cute, it was real sweet. Then today, he perched on the little gate we have in the kitchen while I cooked, um, Ken's supper and my because we're on 2 different diets right now, so I made his supper and was warming mine up, and then Buster was eating cheese, and he was being cute and, like, sweet. So, um, I know he does bring a lot of joy to other people too over the internet, and that makes me feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
they're definitely they're
yeah,
definitely
you
quite the companion. I
you
I I
better
like
learn how
them
to
because
duck.
they're equal. Like, I feel
Mhm,
like a dog or a ferret or a cat, you're the owner, they're the pet. I feel like with a big parrot, I feel like or even the smaller ones, I feel like they're almost equal. They're companions, and I have to treat
mhm,
them with respect and let them make their own decisions and, you
mhm.
know?
Condo, I give Buster cheese, yeah. From my understanding, they need, a little bit like, he needs a certain amount of eggs per week and a certain amount of cheese to get his calcium and a couple other things. Um, so
Yeah, I haven't been told that they need cheese. I've been told that the cheese is fine.
mhm.
So, I don't know.
Well, I think they need a certain amount of calcium because they don't like
Right.
yeah. So, like Buster, he needs more eggs than say Earl does a week. Now,
Now
um,
now does he chew on the shell at all, or do birds not do that? I've never offered.
I've offered it before, when they're cooked, like the hard boiled eggshell that's cooked, because I give it to my dogs occasionally for their teeth. 'Cause they'll chew on it and it's good for their tartar. Um, But Buster won't eat the shell, and I haven't
Okay.
tried it with Percy. Earl very rarely eats anything, but, we still continue to try to get him to eat a little bit of egg on the weekends. Percy loves them. Now he'll eat eggs, and he'll eat a little nibble of cheese. I don't give him very much of that at all because he's, so much smaller, but
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, well, Buster poops a lot anyway. I call him Sir Poops a lot, so yeah, I mean, I've always given him cheese. From my understanding, it's okay, and it's
That's what I've been told.
mhm, yeah. It's not something I do all the time, but I mean, Buster loves meat because Buster doesn't like a lot of seed. He's not much of a seed bird, and so I have to let him have, like, some of what Ken eats because I mean, and he's a high energy bird. I mean, that boy
Yeah.
hops around all day. Oh, I know, Condo.
Like,
I
he's
know.
even almost. I
Hey,
think he's
Shell.
even a little more so than some cockatoos.
I think so. He's a busybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when, people get after me about the flying and stuff. And I'm like, look, I guarantee you he gets his steps in
Yeah,
each and every day.
yeah, he's a high
Yeah.
drive animal.
I mean, even like when he's under his cage playing, um, he is moving around. Like he's moving his feet, he's shuffling, like he's getting around. So he is never very still. I always say that's why he doesn't like me because I'm like pretty high energy like that. Like I'm constantly like, I go from sitting to like running across the room in like a second. It's just, and that comes from raising a large family.
Yeah,
And I always say our energies just don't match, and that's why he doesn't like me. And whereas Ken, is a real chill and um, he just has a better personality for Buster. So
I never thought about that with Onni since he prefers Scott. Scott is the opposite of me. I'm very anxious, very energetic, animated, and he's not. He's real laid back.
yeah, that's how Ken is too. I mean, look at me like right now. I'm like my hands and I'm constantly like moving around and you know, yeah. And
Yeah,
Amanda pointed out I'm the primary caregiver, and that's very too.
I am too.
Mhm. No, it wasn't the roll trim. It was so there's Condo asked a question. There's an old box back there. Hey Fox, thanks for being here, everybody. There's a old box that I had for my African gray that passed away, and we put it back there so that he can chew it. And he was chewing on that one. So um yeah, I mean Buster still loves me. Um it's just in a different way. I don't I mean he's even told me, that he loves me and stuff like that.
Do you
But
get the feeling that he tries to control you? Because Ani definitely tries to dominate and control me.
more so when Ken's around, you know.
Yeah.
And like especially right now he really is disgruntled with me because I cut my hair. Um Cockatoos don't like change. I mean, I don't know if every parrot's like that, but I tried to show the reaction like with Earl and Percy, and they were just like, whatever. They could have cared less. But uh, Buster, Buster was like not having it. Um, yeah.
Amanda, wait a minute. Let me scroll back to that.
What is it?
Okay, so Condo says, okay, this is getting spooky. Rebecca hasn't blinked in almost 10 minutes. Amanda said, Condo, I know I'm trying not to laugh, but she froze in on an interesting face. And I mean that in a loving way, of course.
Can you not see yourself frozen? Let me.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can. And I have
Am I still
a
here?
dorky
Oh,
look
good.
on my face.
I don't think you. I think you just have a look of like what? I
Yeah,
think you look
yeah.
great. Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
know Fox, we know she's frozen. We don't know what happened and we can't there's no way to fix it. Like a driver's license photo. That's a good yeah. Um I'm telling you, every driver's license photo I've ever had, I look like somebody on the 10 o'clock news that's like they're searching for. I've never had a nice driver's license picture. Yeah.
What no, I'm lost where we are now on the
Um
agenda.
Well, we finished up Joy, and then we're gonna
Joy
mention,
was
like
very short, I
yeah,
noticed.
yeah, um, We also had talked about you do need to have a plan of what will happen to your bird if something happens to you.
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
all birds live a long time, but
mhm,
budgies, I think, live, what, like 10 to 15 years? And I
mhm,
know people that lose them earlier than that. And you have the longest one, which is a cockatoo, which technically can get over 80 years.
mhm.
They usually don't, but they technically can.
Yeah, there's very few that I think because of I mean, we try very hard to, give him a good balanced diet, and I know that's one of the other things I think we were gonna get into, like, food and cages and things like that, but, I mean, Buster will I mean, it scares me like, if Ken had to go away for a week or something, Buster doesn't wanna hardly eat or drink when he's not here. I mean, it's
Mm.
very difficult to get him to eat a good meal when Ken's not home. Um, so it's really hard, so but
How
yeah,
old
you
is
need
Buster? Somebody asked.
I don't know, he's an adult male cockatoo, we know that because of behavior. I would
Okay.
venture to say he's a minimum of in his 20s, but I don't know.
Huh.
So, yeah. He does have a band, which makes me think I mean, I can't remember when they used
Have you
I know
figured out the band?
mm-mm. The
Because
bands
I found a thing online once where somebody had a whole long list of band codes and said where each one came from. That was
hmm.
fascinating. I wish I could find that again.
See, I know Percy has his says he came out of I wanna say it says Bird Paradise out of Florida. He has a Florida tag. He's only 3 years old, though well, he'll be 4 this year. So I think they're more identifying now than they were back then. Um,
I'm sorry.
is that
Condo, you
true,
can cut
Condo?
off a feather and count the growth rings to determine his age, you know.
That's for trees. Okay, I was gonna say Condo
I'm
I was like,
sorry. I had to
I
say
didn't
that. It
think
was
so.
funny.
Yeah, that's a good one. You stumped me there for a second. Um, no, that's the unfortunate thing. I had read somebody had told me they thought you could do a blood test to see how old they were, and I was going to do that, and then I found out that wasn't true. And that's
Uh,
the sad thing about it is that there's no way to tell when you don't know. Um,
yeah.
so that's a it's a tricky matter.
I thought
Um,
when I got Ani, you know, I was always told because he lives a long time, I was always told, "Have a plan for where he's gonna go after you pass
bypass.
away."
Mhm.
I thought I had it covered. I didn't just have a plan, I had plans A through D. And because things over the years changed with Ani or changed with the other people, none of those plans are viable now. We're up in the air again. So you can never tell what the future is gonna bring.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep. That and that's the thing too, you're really gonna almost have to have multiple choices, um, to for them, you know? Um, there's a lot of sanctuaries and rescues, but, um, you know, it's kinda sad to do that. I think we love the birds so much, we almost wanna have a plan in place prior to in the event of or whatever, but that's always an option. But somebody pointed out recently, um, rescues closed down. Uh, there was a popular rescue that's closing down here soon that's on, Instagram, and that's a really valid point that you may leave your bird to a rescue that in 20 years' time is not no longer here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Service dog Kazana brought that up to me. There was a huge one, so well known out west, and they found out that that one was it had gone downhill. So once upon a time, it was kind of good, but then
Mhm.
it wasn't, you know. And they shut. I think they shut down.
Yeah, there's one about an hour from me, and it's changed hands since I've lived here 3 times.
Wow.
I don't seem by what I see, I don't see a problem with it, but one of the groups I'm on, somebody I suggested that rescue, and this person, like, jumped all over me, and because that person has his own rescue, and, um, so I
Yeah.
don't know. That it's a tough thing, but, there are a lot of sanctuaries. Um, I just kinda almost would hate to see think that Buster's a sideshow attraction at, like, some petting zoo or something. Those are almost there's not there's more bad ones than good ones. Although Buster would
What about finding a very large zoo that maybe has big birds, cockatoos
mm.
living in large aviaries in a natural way? Like, maybe you could
I don't
squeeze them
know
in
of
there.
any because actually, a politician came to talk to me, a few months back, and he has an African gray, and he's up in years, and he said he really would like to find somebody for him, and he talked about that, about getting a hold of a zoo. The Columbus Zoo, which is, in my opinion, one of the best zoos I've ever went to, they do have an African gray there. But I don't know if they have a whole program or um or what. But it would be neat, of something like that. Um so because I think Buster would be okay if he was seeing somebody different every day because he loves to meet new people. But you get old to him very quickly. But, like, if he was I don't like the idea of him being a sideshow attraction, but if it was a zoo where he was well cared for and he was seeing different people every day, he that would make him happy.
Yeah.
Um, so he's a condo. You should go on the road, you're funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
condo or house comedian.
mhm. Yeah, bird love the Columbus Zoo, I've been there many times in my life, and it's great. Yeah, um it's sad what's happened to Jack Hanna, but, yeah. So then we were gonna talk about, needs, like a big cage.
Oh, yeah, the needs. Woo,
Mhm. That
wow.
list is long.
So, yeah, you're right, it is. When it's interesting, when you
Mm,
get a medium or small bird, the setup is no matter what size bird, the setup is extraordinarily expensive. But for
mhm,
medium and small birds, it's interesting that outside of the vet bills, there's really little to no cost to keep them. Um,
mm,
but the big parrots, I mean, you need the big cage, you need 2 bowls, you need all the toys that cost a whole lot of money.
mhm.
You need a scale. Um, Trying to think what else. A cover if
Um,
you wanna cover
the
them.
cover, yeah. And then also with little birds and big birds, there's different space sizes for in between the bars. And we learned that the hard way with the bird we had. Well, somebody had given me a budgie, um, and he kept escaping from his cage. And it was and his, the slats were too big in
Yeah,
between. Didn't you say it's like a half an inch, no bigger than a half an inch or something for a cockatiel?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I know
but
more than half an inch would definitely be too much.
mhm, yeah.
But,
So
cages now, they've gotten really expensive. Ani's cage, I think, was $900 or something when we got it 9 years ago. His
mhm,
cage now is, like, probably $1,500.
yeah, and
Cages have gone way up in price.
some of the I know, like, king cages, which is the best on the market,
Mhm,
I think
mhm.
they're over 2,000.
I wouldn't be
Now I got
surprised.
really fortunate, um, with the cage we got, we paid $200 for it, it was used. Now we did drive 2.5 to 3 hours away to get it. Um, but we were really fortunate. We got a really nice cage. Um, it's much bigger than his other one. But now I will say though, I do think he liked his cage that he had before, and he's pretty attached to it, and he won't swing on a swing anymore ever since we got this new cage.
Mm,
Um, which is really weird because he used to sleep on his, swing every night. That's where he slept, and he won't accept it. We've tried moving it around the cage. We even have it in the aviary right now to see if he'll use it, and
perches. Perches are expensive.
oh, yeah. Ken's
We
made of a
went
lot of
looking for
ours.
those, and I was like, "Oh
Mhm,
my gosh."
mhm. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, the littler ones, their cages are a lot cheaper, um, and everything. I know I don't know how to say her name, but it's a lady that sent you the story. She asked last week too about food, their specific diet.
Oh.
Um, well, you know,
I'm not as good about that as some people. I mean, you can go into that, and I'll just
well,
say that mine is pellets and a lot of dried vegetables, dried fruit, and some mixture of nuts and oats, but it's
mm,
about we were doing about 50% pellets, but the University of Tennessee said that's not near enough if we're not doing the other foods. If we're doing just bird food, they said he needed more like 80% pellets, and they were right because he put on a bunch of weight and
mm.
he's much healthier now. But
So
the fresh foods and all the other good stuff, I'm bad about. I'll admit it. I don't do it. I'm bad about it.
I I don't always make chop because they won't eat it at all. And so now mine like the Supreme pasta blend and they make cockatoo soup out of it. Um and I do mix like some vegetable. I just try to do fresh vegetables and fruit.
Go ahead and
Um
explain what chop is.
Chop is, I guess, yeah, that's true. It doesn't really necessarily mean they know what it means. It's a variety of mostly vegetables, because they need more vegetables than fruit. And I don't know off the top of my head the ratio. And then I think a lot of people also put a little bit of nuts in there too, like healthy nuts, pistachios or whatnot. And you get like kale, peppers, very healthy carrots, and you mince it up into a soup, but chop it up in a blender really small. And I mean, 75% of it, those that do eat it, toss it on the floor. It's like a tossed salad.
Yeah.
Um, some of them love it.
It's funny that even the largest parrots just they like those teensy bits.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, Buster soaks everything. He soaks absolutely everything because I've often thought about making him a smoothie out of those items and see if he would eat that for Ken, like from a
Hmm.
spoon, like he did the banana ice cream the other day. I made some banana ice cream that he could have, um, and he'll just eat it from a spoon for Ken. So I've considered trying a smoothie to see, and he loves ice. He likes to eat ice. He'll put it on Ken's shirt and he folds it and he sucks the water out of the ice
How
cube.
about that?
And it's this funny because if you ever see Ken on video and he's got like a wet spot on his shirt, I haven't been drooling on him. It's from Buster. So he puts that ice cube on it and he tucks it like that and he just goes to town on it. It's the funniest thing. I'll have to do a video on that because I don't know that I've really ever shown that.
No, you
Um,
haven't.
yeah. So yeah, that's what he likes to do. So I often think that like, well, maybe he would enjoy a smoothie much better, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I know
I'm sure
some
he
people
could.
make a mash,
That's true
so,
too.
which is almost like a pudding consistency.
That's true. Yeah. Um, so that's oh, and also like emergencies. I mean, I'm gonna be really honest. I don't know what I would do if I had a family emergency and had to go out of town. I
Mhm.
really don't. Well, I could board them. Um,
At a vet's office or
yeah,
something.
yeah. But see, the one place so once a month I was boarding Earl just from Friday to Sunday, just to give Ken a little bit of respite from the screaming. And they had another bird, and Earl actually, they both seemed to enjoy each other's company. Um, but they quit getting back with me. Like, I'm assuming, like, they don't want Earl to teach their bird what he does. But now I did finally get an email back from her, and she said they've just been short-staffed. So I'm gonna see about over 4th of July if maybe we can board him for that weekend just to give Ken a little but, we have found that he loves the aviary. I think he likes it because he thinks he's taking something from Buster, and I think I talked about this before, but so, like, we bought a fan, a box fan that we're gonna put on with, a bungee cord to keep them cooler, and then we also, when they're out in the aviary and it's hot, we spray them quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, because 'cause we're putting up a clothesline this weekend. I think we're gonna do a video of it, and I think I'm gonna attempt, they've been getting along really well. I think I'm gonna attempt to put both of them in the aviary because I'll be right there. We'll be
Uh-huh.
absolutely right there, and they've never done anything dangerous to each other. They've just kinda did the beak, the little back and forth beaky thing and make the noise.
Do you have
Um,
a roof on your
I
aviary?
do, mhm. Can
What do
build
you use?
a tin roof. It's just tin.
Huh.
But it doesn't, like, go through in the heat or whatever, and it's in a spot that, it's in a shadier spot, um, and but the clothesline is going right by his aviary, so
Oh,
Buster ought to
so
love that.
apiary, that's another cost that you don't have to have,
Yeah,
but it's it's good to have.
yeah.
And those outdoor aviaries, man, I mean, I
I
know we found the answer at Tractor Supply, but I mean, if
Mhm,
you go for just a real bird aviary, there are thousands of dollars.
mhm. Now I did a lot of, like, searching around on that, and honest to goodness, the aviaries I saw that were, like, marketed as aviaries, Buster could have chewed through, for sure.
Really? Wow.
So, he had a good month when he had a good month one time on TikTok, and I told Ken, I said, "Let's go look at the dog kennels at Tractor Supply and see what we can do as far as you modifying it." Ken's really good at that. I'll give him an idea, and he'll just sit down on paper, and he's got it.
Yeah.
So we went and looked, and it was on sale too. Um, and we didn't have to use one of the panels, and we were able to sell that panel for like $50.
What is it supposed to be? I got the smaller version, which I wish I didn't because Ani could chew through it. We have to sit right there with them,
Mm,
which I mean, you should anyway, but it would be nice to be able to go in and do dishes. The window is right there for me to watch them, but I
mhm.
can't. So I wish I had gotten what you got. Is yours Are things they're supposed to be chicken coops, right?
Mine is an actual outdoor dog pen.
Is it?
I think it's Retriever brand. Um, and honestly, when we started looking into getting a cage, I almost just said, let's get another aviary. But the only problem I had with that is I like the tray for the indoor um, bird cage. I wanted a tray. Otherwise, he would just go down and be walking around in poopy papers all the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't, but I mean, there's a YouTuber that used something similar to what I used in the aviary for their indoor macaws. I think they have two of them. I don't remember the name of the channel. Um, and it works really well for them. But
Yeah.
I think mine is the Retriever brand. And like I said, Ken did have to modify it a bit. Um, and we had a spare panel.
I
Um,
got a little worried because the gaps were big. So
mhm.
I had these visuals of maybe Ani getting his leg caught or something like that, which is silly. People are using what you have everywhere. So
I've
here it would have been
seen
fine.
I'm not saying other people didn't do it before we did, but, like, I've seen several after we did that have done the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, so that's, that's what, I don't regret that at all. Somebody had mentioned, like, they were concerned about the coating, and there's nothing wrong with the coating on it.
No,
And
that's what's so
honestly
awesome about it is the
mhm,
coating is safe. It's like, isn't it the powder ceramic or something like that is on it, which is
yeah,
the same thing on bird cages.
mhm. And if it does ever get to where it rusts or whatever, there are safe paints that you can use for parrots that where
I
we
see.
could, you know so I like I said, I'm not worried about that. We've had that over 3 years now, and it doesn't have a single rust spot on it yet. So, I mean, it's built to be outside. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, the gaps aren't too big at all. Now, I mean, even Earl can't get through the gaps. Now, Percy could. Percy can't go out there. Um,
I
but
was just worried about, when I walked in the store and saw it, and the gap to me was itchy, and I thought, "Can Ani squeeze his head in there?" But he can't, and I really regret that I went with what I went with instead of getting what it was after the fact that I made that decision. I saw online people that had gotten it, 2 years
yeah,
ago, and
hmm yeah, and like I said, he took there's the four, and then he took another panel and put it on the top and like screwed it in such a way. And then at first we just put a tarp over it, and then he ended up having some extra tin from a project he did, and he put a tin roof on it. It's a very nice aviary. I'm extremely happy with it, and we actually have an idea of connecting it to kind of into the house, but that's a project
well,
hopefully
that
coming
sounds
up
like something
soon.
Scott would do.
Mhm. Yeah, we have an idea to, put it up against the house. Yeah, we have an idea for that, and that's if we can do it, we're looking into it. If we can do it, that'll be coming up soon, and that would make my life easier because I would have a way to let him in and out of the aviary because, he doesn't he'll bite me if I try to take him out to the aviary.
Yeah.
So, now my son can take him out there, but it would be nice to have a way to, like, open a door and he can go straight into the aviary if need be. So, that's up and coming, though. You definitely have to really, like is it you that says think outside the cage? You say that,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yep.
It's like you definitely have to really, because you're trying to save money too. I
Right.
mean, you have no choice but to try to save money with all these pets. But, so we're always trying to think of, like, what can make his life better, not just his, all of them. What can we do to make, it
Now, I
easier
don't
for
know about
everyone?
you, but when I was setting up, I didn't get everything all at once because I didn't think of everything. So, like the
No, yeah.
carrier, the
Mhm.
harness,
Yep.
there were things that came in very slowly that I didn't think of getting at first.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, I got those things as I went, and there's my goodness. And there's some things that, like, it is just you don't even think about it at first, you know? So, um, but yeah, that's and then I know somebody asked last week about the minimum amount of time that you should
Oh, that's a
spend with
good
them.
question.
Mhm. Now, from everything I read, and I know this is different with Ani because of what you're going through right now, but they're supposed to have a minimum out of the cage for 5 hours a day. But honestly, it's not just about being out of the cage, it's engagement. Cockatoos are so very needy and they need your time. And so I would say more that like they need 5 to 8 hours a day of your time.
Yeah,
But then Buster also has some independent time. He's pretty good about being independent. Um, but
that's so healthy. That's something that Ani didn't learn as well as Buster is to have some independent time, independent play, and
mhm,
it's not healthy to not be doing that.
mhm. Yeah, and, like, I can also allow Buster to, like, chew on a box, and it doesn't make them like nesty. And because I know some birds, they can't even get in a box or else they'll dart out after you. And but now, moving a broom around really makes him lose his mind, so who knows? I wanted to give another quick tip too on money saving things, like, when we first got the birds, we asked friends to or neighbors to, like, save boxes for us, and then I used to have 3 ladies that saved newspapers, but now I'm down to 2, but I have 2 ladies that save their newspaper subscriptions for me, and I just pick them up when they tell me they have a pickup. And so I haven't had to buy newspapers, and most newspaper places will sell old newspapers by the pound or by the bundle.
Oh, I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, yeah. So I haven't had to buy newspapers now for years since I had gotten on a group and just asked, like, "Hey, does anybody have a newspaper subscription that they wouldn't mind saving for me? I'll pick them up whenever, however often you want, um, as long as you're close by." And I have 2 awesome ladies that in fact, the one lady usually drops them off because she comes past my place more so than I go by hers. And if she's coming this away, she'll just drop them off. And she gets the local paper and an Augusta paper. So I really hit the jackpot on that. But that is a
Heard
good
this
way.
dog. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Some of these comments are hysterical when I'm looking down. Somebody came on and asked if green shirt was okay, because I
Oh,
guess she didn't hear that I had frozen
you
everything.
froze.
And
Yeah.
service dog Janet said, "No, Gert, she's speaking from beyond."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you could say you're a psychic medium or something.
We're missing a fun chat, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I know, I can't see. Um, oh, yeah, Amanda, you need a carrier too for your vet visits. Um, I really want one like you have, Rebecca. It's just
Yeah.
and someday I'll have one. It's just they're quite a bit. Um, and I there's some for sale on like Etsy and eBay, the acrylic ones, but they
Mhm.
don't have the metal door.
No,
And
and you
there's
need that.
no way I'm going without a metal door because they could be hot enough um without that. So,
Yeah.
um somebody asked about toxic foods. We've went over this before, but like chocolate and avocado I think is number up, they probably tie. Um but also like caffeine, alcohol, what else? Onions, oh my goodness, how could I ever
Really?
forget freaking
Uh,
onions?
did you say avocado?
I said avocado, chocolate,
Okay.
caffeine, alcohol, onions. Don't
Apple
let them touch
seed?
your onions. Apple seeds. Well, cockatoos can have cooked tomatoes, but they're not supposed to have raw. But from my understanding, somebody told me macaws can't have any type of tomato or tomato sauce.
Huh.
So there is some differences with certain species, but definitely avocado, coffee, salt's not good for them, sugar's not good for them. Um, so oh, they can have
Alcohol.
grapes. They can have grapes.
Oh, yeah, grapes are good
Mm,
for them.
mhm. They can have some citrus. I know, Buster never used to eat it, and I got oh, what is it called? A what's that wrestlers that start Sumarai
Mm, s
orange.
sumo. The
Sumo,
wrestlers? Sumo
yeah,
wrestlers.
sumo oranges. I'd never seen them until we moved south, and they are really delicious, but, Buster loves them, and that's the only kind of citrus he'll eat, and then that opened him up to kinda he'll try an orange every now and then. I
Have you
mean,
tried the little tiny baby oranges? I forget,
the
there's di
tangerines.
no, there's something even smaller.
Oh,
Um,
kumquats, kumquats.
no, not kumquats.
Oh, okay.
These are
Hmm.
especially bred, oranges, and they're tiny, and I can't remember the name. If Scott were here, he'd remember the name, but they're like tangerines, just smaller. So I was wondering it would be neat to give Buster one to see what he does, like a whole one. So
Oh,
because it's
yeah.
like a little ball to see if he would chew it or try to open it.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. Yeah. I'll look, we have a store that's kinda like
Cuties.
a
They're called
cuties.
cuties.
Okay. Or mandarins, Condo was saying. Yeah, I'll have to try that. So I make a lot of ice cream just out of fruit. I just mince it up and freeze it, and then you just have to kinda let it sit out on the counter for a few, and
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
neat.
it's pretty refreshing then, especially in the heat we've been having. But I did try to get him to eat some of the orange ice cream I had made, and he wouldn't touch it today, but he would probably eat it for Ken because he ate some of the banana ice cream I made the other day. Um, but yeah, orange yeah, mine Earl won't hardly eat anything. Condo. Oh my
I'm a
goodness.
lightweight. I'm having trouble seeing the chat, and I've only had this baby beer.
Oh, yeah. Have you had the whole thing?
Yeah, I drank
Yeah.
the baby beer, and I'm having trouble seeing the chat now.
Oh
What a
my.
lightweight am I?
Yeah. Yep. Um, I forgot to put Wings Out podcast on the I'll change that.
Legend, legend. This is a podcast that's about birds, bird care, exotic animals. Today we're answering questions that we've had. There's no specific topic. Usually we'll pick two broad topics and cover those intensely. But today we're just chatting and we're answering questions that have been submitted to us.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the other thing I was gonna say to ask for is, like, our birds, a lot of times we use regular toddler toys, so to ask people for their old toys, or, if someone, is doing a project with wood and they're gonna have little wood blocks left over, and it's a safe wood. Now, there is some types of wood that are also poisonous to birds, but if they have leftover chunks of wood that are safe, keep those for
Untreated,
you. Yeah, untreated,
untreated wood.
and let them be able to cockatoo that up. Um,
Cockatoo that up.
yep, yep. Um, and then when it gets to the smaller pieces, I don't know, maybe Percy would want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, now we'll take questions. Um, looks like there's a few trolls in here. Cheers to the trolls.
Yeah.
I think you trolls just need a hug. I really do.
Yeah.
You know,
Kisses and
because
hugs. Peace and love.
because honestly, like when so maybe this is just what the topic we'll get on. Like, what is wrong that you get on the internet to get on a YouTube channel and write horrible things or ridiculous things to people?
Oh, that's a
Like,
topic, being famous on
yeah,
YouTube,
I mean,
having a pet
I think,
celebrity on YouTube. What is it like to be
yeah,
a YouTuber?
yeah, yeah. I just really think like it's really sad to be like that when we don't wish you anything but happiness. I mean, so um, like you're not going to get a reaction out of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So go out in the world and find someone who loves you and love them back instead of like being a jerk, as Earl would say. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sassy, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's sad. But do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, we'll take questions now if you have any. Hi, Cassie.
Yep. Hi, everybody. I mean, I've missed a lot. I'll have to try and go back over and look. Um,
I try
well,
to
that's
see,
true,
I'll
Condo.
try to replay it on my phone and I can't get the live chat up. Is there no way do I have to watch that on the computer?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Oh, I missed that question, Condo. Condo had a good question, Amanda said, about Coco swallowing the wood.
Yes.
I know that's a concern. You always tell me that, Condo. You're worried Buster's gonna do something. We haven't had any trouble. Um, maybe I'm sure he's definitely bigger than Coco. I don't know, why or how that happened, but I have people getting on me for letting them chew plastic.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he doesn't swallow it. He doesn't swallow it. I mean, he touches the floor. The floor's, I don't know. So I I mean, there are things to always consider, but at the end of the day, I think people know their birds and what's right for them. But
How does
Buster does
how
does
does
fine.
Buster self-soothe when he's crying?
I give him a pacifier.
Yeah, exactly. A real
Huh,
one.
that that's an inside joke between me and Rebecca. Amanda probably gets it too. Um, is it soothing? Um, I mean, it does work. I mean, the thing about Buster is, I think he's a self-made comedian, and he does understand, like, I'm gonna cry, and she's gonna say, "Do you miss dad?" You know what I mean? Because if he
Yeah.
can repeat and answer questions, he understands what's going on. But I do give him Passy as a joke, and he likes it. He likes his scrub daddies, he likes his passies, he likes all kinds of things. Um, somebody a Amanda said somebody asked about how to get I have a PO box um, on my what do you call it? On my about page. Or if
Is it
Amanda wants to type it up, you can type it on
do
there.
you also have it under each video or no?
I think no, I don't. I'm really
No.
bad about that, and I need to do that. I need to figure out a way to, like, copy and paste that stuff. I went back and did that to a bunch of videos, and I need to do that again.
You can
Um,
pretty much look under any of my videos and you'll see the PO box there. I don't know if it's on my about page or not.
yeah, mine is in my about page, which I'm about to revamp my about page and kinda, like, rewrite a lot of stuff, but, um, it is on my about page. Um, yeah, Legend, thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here. I think Amanda's gonna put it, though.
Do the
I'm
birds go right to sleep once they are covered?
Yes, mine do.
Yeah, mine I don't cover mine, but Ani has his own room and it's blacked out. So it's like a covering. But yeah,
Mm,
he puts up a fuss to go back there, but once he's back there and we go through the night ritual of getting his water and then hugs and kisses and stand there for a while with him and hold his hand and then he gets ready and we leave and he goes right to sleep.
um, well, Buster has his little night story time routine, you know, um, but yeah, ours I cover ours. Now, we went with the idea of I got this idea from you with the foam type of cardboard that's black, but Ken used a painter's tape, and they can see a little bit, and, right now it's staying light until 9 o'clock at night.
I know.
So, now Ken's got another idea, he's gonna do something different here pretty soon, um, but we have to cover them, and then we have to use a fan in there because it's hot, and in the winter, occasionally, if it's gonna be below a certain temperature, we have a safe heater that we put in there. Um well, I mean, I guess Dennis, I guess they don't have to, but like when Buster doesn't perch up, he acts even with the lights out, he runs around his cage and screams and rants. So we have to get him to go up on the perch. But they like to get up on their perch and they kind of I'd say it's just their safe space and they pull up that one little foot and they go to sleep. But birds can't see in the dark. So once it's dark, they're they're done. Because actually, Ken did something in his cage one night in the dark where he had put him up in the dark and he went to get his food bowl and Buster bit him because he felt a hand and couldn't see what it was, and so he was, in it was fear mode, so, um no, I'm not your grandmother, I'm your godmother.
Gosh. Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 8:30. I always need to get off by 8:45, and my dogs are in here too, and they need to go outside, so.
Yeah. I
Hey,
need to cook the
Amanda
husband
and
dinner.
service dog, looks like we kept y'all busy tonight. We appreciate you guys very much.
Very, very,
Um,
very much.
yeah, nod to the mods.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys, so thank all of you for being here. Next week, we'll be on um, Rebecca's channel, and I don't know what we're talking about yet, but we'll get that hashed out and we'll put it on the community
I
pages.
know one of the subjects at some point I want to do grieving, how we grieve when we lose our pets, and also how pets grieve for each other
Mm,
when they lose their cage mates. But, that's not enough to do a whole show, so we'd have
yeah,
to
yeah,
do something
yeah,
else.
yeah. Sometime I want us to make uh, a homemade toy for the birds while we're doing the live.
Oh, you're crafty, huh?
Not really, but I mean, it's a bird. They don't care. They're gonna chew it up in a second anyway. um, But I thought it would be nice to show people, ways to save money and ways for them to be enriched, in because you could make it into, like, an enrichment session.
Yeah,
So,
that would be
yeah.
that's a good idea. Do you have
Yeah,
a pen and paper?
I do.
Write down enrichment.
Okay,
S
I will.
that's a big topic
Yeah,
because there's so
yeah,
many ways to do it, and,
and it's important. Mhm.
yeah,
But it gets expensive if you're buying toys from the store, the what are considered parrot toys.
yes,
Um So, and there's neat things you can do to hide nuts in them and make them work for that, so, um, I thought that would be a fun, like, each of us come up with our own craft and kinda do it and take questions at the same time. And, we can be showing a thing of way to enrich the birds and also enriching each other, so I think it'd be cool.
okay,
Yeah,
very
so,
good.
yep. But hey, you guys, thank you for being here. Oh, thank you, Luann. I'm still getting used to it, and so is Buster.
Amanda says, "Wait, don't end yet, check your text."
Oh, okay, okay. Hang on. I heard I had a text, but I mean, I got to give you a special reach. Oh, Rebecca, what's your PO box?
I don't have it offhand.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll get it and put it in the description.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'll go ahead and just get it and put it in the description, and maybe I'll try to remember like every week to do that.
I used to have it right on hand real quick, but, I don't right
Okay,
now.
yeah, I will. I'll put it in the description. I'll go to your channel and get it.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, you guys, for being here. We will see you next week.
Cheers.
But oh, cheers,
You gotta do the
frozen
cheers.
green,
Okay.
frozen green shirt lady.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.